Are you ready to join me in transforming fear to freedom? That's the objective of the show. Are you ready to explore with me and my guests? Are you ready to get into the deep and play? This is where it's at, and that's what it's all about. No medical advice here. Use discernment and decide for yourself if the information is right for you. All views and opinions expressed on this show belong to the individual and are not necessarily shared with the producer of the show. Want more details? Go to letsgetrealchattinwithcatherine.com. Now let's get real and have some fun. Who are we going to explore with today? Come on with me and let's get into the deep. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Get Real Chattin with Catherine. My absolute pleasure to be able to present to you today a chat with Shannon Koller, who is the person who, my connection behind Healthy Chocolate. And we are going to get into lots of details about her journey and how she came to find out about Healthy Chocolate and so much more. Chocolate is one of my favorites, and to find out there's a healthy chocolate, that's pretty awesome. So we're just going to get right into this chat, and I'll put up some clips for you, some websites for you to check out for yourself. As I always say, do your own discernment, but I'm pretty intrigued. So let's go meet Shannon right now. Welcome to Let's Get Real Chattin with Catherine, and today my guest is Shannon Koller, and she is from Edmonton, Alberta, as I've said, and I'm so excited to be talking about healthy chocolate that I can almost jumping up and down here, because everyone who's followed my show, my blogs, my Facebook, they know I'm always talking about chocolate, and it's not like I eat chocolate all the time. I just happen to be a big fan. So finding out that Shannon has gone through her journey and discovered a healthy chocolate, whoa, exciting. So welcome to the show, Shannon. It's my absolute pleasure to have you with me today.
Well, thank you for having me on your show. I'm so excited to be here and just let people know what my journey's been and what led me to the chocolate. And it's worked very well for me, and it might work very well for others.
Exactly. We never know. And I always say that on my shows. It's everyone. It's up to you. Do your own discernment. The point of sharing stories and other people's journeys is so that we don't all have to, invent the wheel ourselves. We can learn from other people's experiences, and maybe, it'll appeal to you and it'll be perfect. So I want to get back to start at the beginning. I know in your bio, Shannon, you talk about always being a little bit of an entrepreneur since you were a little girl. So with your lemonade stands and your even starting your own. Now, did you start unisex salons across Canada? Is that how, or what was your salon experience? That was your first big venture, I guess.
My first big venture, like I said, I had been drawing pictures of what my unisex salon was going to be when I was 12 years old, and there wasn't such a thing then. You had to be a barber in order to cut men's hair, and you had to be a hairstylist, actually a hairdresser at that point, to cut women's hair, and you didn't have male or female in each other's establishments.
That's right.
That was women had to have escorts. Telling my age now, but so that was something that I really wanted to put the two together, and so I started hairstyling at a very young age. Very, very focused individual when it comes to things like that. For me, it's always why not? Just go for it. Before I was 40, I wanted to own my own business. So at 40, I opened my own salon. By then, unisex was definitely had come to be, and I'm a barber as well as a hairstylist. So I've worked in both genres. So I was able to put them both together and have a wonderful salon that was just a meeting place. And there would be, 5 hairstylists and 5 clients in the chair and 5 people waiting. So there'd be a 15-person conversation going on. There was always this natural networking and kind of anybody who was anybody came to get their hair done there. And it was actually called The Loft Hair and Body Studio, but everybody just called it Shannon's Place. And so that's what I should have got. I guess.
Well, the thing is that that's what, a lot of people, it's a social thing.
Yes.
Yeah, so networking and socializing in the beauty salon, barbershop, unisex, like today, it's nothing for a man to walk into the same salon as his wife or his girlfriend or children, like we do that, whereas before it was very exclusive. So, which is nice because we are crossing, these barriers. I feel like that's part of the evolution. It's not just about hair. It's about that socializing, networking, getting to know people, but also about, I would think, and this is my perception, but in the women's salons, we're a lot about pampering. And, sometimes you had nails and you had other things going on that men really, it was off limits for them for a number of years. I mean, many years ago, men used to have manicures and things like that, but mostly the rich. But to have, even just to be in the environment of seeing what self-care is, that looking after the body and interacting, I mean, that's a big leap for us as a species.
Well, and especially North Americans, Europeans have known for years that you only have one body and you need to look after it. It's that vehicle. If you allow your vehicle to rust, then it's not going to last you as long as it needs to. And that's exactly correct.
Isn't that interesting? I was just thinking about the Canadian or North American stereotypes and conditioning. We were taught that if your hands were well taken care of, manicured or whatever, you obviously didn't work. You didn't, and if you didn't work, then you had no value. A person who with rugged hands that were all beaten up from labor and, that was our medals, our badges, how beaten up our body could be. Oh my goodness, what an interesting mentality. So it's kind of cool that we are moving into this taking care, self-care, and recognizing respect for the body. Like you say, we only have the one each lifetime as far as I know. And so you got into the salon, and then what happened after that? Like, what took you to chocolate?
Well, what ended up actually taking me to chocolate was becoming very sick. Uh-huh. And our industry is known for its parabens and dyes and waxes and VOCs and a lot of very nasty things. And as a hairstylist, we have one of the highest rates of breast cancer. And unfortunately for me, 3 years ago, it'll be 3 years ago this April, we were on our way to Panama, and we had to cancel that. My husband was working up north. He's a draftsman, and he came home thinking we were leaving on a trip, to find out the only trip I was making was to the hospital for surgery. And so full clientele, working at my daughter's salon, and life was good. We'd bought our acreage that was our dream acreage, etc., and just got the carpet pulled out from underneath me, and was violently allergic to the chemo, and allergic to the anti-nausea medications. So I spent 1 year pretty much in bed and walking around like a space jockey. So a year after my last round of chemo, my father was born and raised in China of white Russian parentage. So I grew up going to a Chinese herbalist when anybody was sick. So alternative medicine and an alternative lifestyle has been something I've grown up with.
Right.
And so massage, acupuncture, just everything I could possibly think of, sacrocranial, just really trying to get rid of all of the nastiness that had happened. And I still needed a list to find a list. If I didn't write it on the back of my hand where the list was, I couldn't find it. I'd drive downtown and get downtown and think, what did I come here for? And
yeah,
it was, the chemo really did a number on me. And one of the girls that I used to work with at the salon invited me to a chocolate tasting, and it was combined with a candle party. So I thought I was going to see candles, and my husband had been investigating dark chocolate and its health benefits. So when my daughter said, well, we're going to throw another party in there, I thought, okay, well, I'd like to go and, learn about this chocolate too. Never once thinking I was going to come out of there, with a business. It was just one of those things. But in between there, I had gotten up enough strength. We had actually gone to Panama. We did manage to have our trip, and had been with the Kuna Indians and had drank chocolatl and had learned from the Kuna Indians themselves the tremendous health benefits. So when the lady was standing up in front and talking about the Kuna Indians and all the studies on them and the dark chocolate, and that this had never been processed, and it was raw, and it could mop up your arteries, and it could give you energy and kill the free radicals in your body, and it just made perfect sense to me. And
it's what you
needed. It's what I needed to hear. And in a very, very short span of time, actually the first indication that something positive was going on in my body after I had started taking the chocolate was, I remember looking out the kitchen window and the radio was on in the background, and I was dancing to the music, and I actually started to cry because I hadn't done that in a long time. And right then and there, I knew I had to take this and run with it.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and I've lost 30 pounds of the chemo weight, and I feel like I'm back.
Yeah, it's interesting that how our lives will take us to these different paths sometimes. And sometimes, I'm not saying we have to get sick, but it does seem, because in the last, 20 or 30 years, a lot of people are getting sick. And
yes,
it makes you wonder if they're getting sick because we're so busy, so saturated, so disconnected from spirit, from ourselves, we don't know ourselves. We're running constantly, and we're not really paying attention to, like you say, even in the industries, you being creative and doing hair and all that. To me, I get that. But when the products we're using is toxic to our bodies, and I mean, even each individually, going to get your hair colored and permed and all those kinds of things, and makeup, anything you're putting on your skin is being absorbed, into your body. I've had the really amazing experience with my own body, since I also had to get sick before I could wake up, and that, with me, it was fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue. But what I noticed is that if I have something on my fingers, and I didn't notice this when I was younger, this only started really being part of my keen awareness. If I have bleach, let's say, or something that has a very specific taste or smell to it, I will taste it in my mouth as soon as I touch it. If it's on my hands, I can taste it, and it's not. That to me is pretty amazing. That's pretty fast. How fast that's traveling from my fingertips to my bloodstream. so that I'm getting this taste in my mouth?
Seconds. Yes. 26 seconds. If you rub a clove of garlic on the bottom of your feet, within 26 seconds, you will taste it in your mouth.
Amazing.
So that, it is just so important that what we put on our bodies and is just as pure as what we put in our bodies. And it's taken me getting very, very ill to realize that I should be treating my body as a temple and being very precise as to what I put in it and the environment that's around me. Mm-hmm. And we were in a car accident 8 years prior to my breast cancer, and that's where the seatbelt was. And the Cross Cancer Institute informed me that it takes 8 years for the slowest growing cancer to manifest itself large enough to be discovered, and 5 years for the fastest growing cancer. So, and I remember at the time it took nearly 3 weeks for all the bruising to come to the surface. And I remember at the time thinking, I'm really going to have to watch this.
Wow.
And it was just like I knew. And as a hairstylist, I had done wigs and hair replacements for many, many years and had said goodbye, unfortunately, to too many of my clients. And so I knew that I needed to be really diligent to make sure that this was only a wake-up call. And so I'm ever so grateful that the healthy chocolate came into my life, because it has made, medically, I have proof what all has changed in my body since I started consuming it. Wow. And my husband as well. My daughters too, amazing testimonies.
So it's been 3 years since you were diagnosed, you had surgery, you had chemo. And now, what is your status now? As far as, is it in remission? Is that what
completely clear? Completely clear.
Nice, congratulations. Yeah. That's always a biggie. And,
yes, it is.
And no mistake that I always say we're always here for the exact amount of time we're meant to be here. And so you're here, and you have this story to share, which is why I wanted to chat with you, because I try to convey this message to people. It's not about the products. It's never about products. It's about relationships. It's about how we connect with each other and learning from each other. And yes, they're knowing that, okay, there's toxins in products we've been using, innocently believing, or maybe sometimes not innocently, naively believing that how could something that is that toxic smell so bad, or you can't eat it and yet you can put it on your skin. That doesn't make sense. Really, it doesn't, and especially when sunscreen is actually one of the worst. The parabens in sunscreens, I mean, they've been banned in Europe, but they're not banned in North America. And all you need is olive oil has a natural SPF of 15. Coconut oil also is
good. So does coconut oil. So people.
But everybody, listen. I keep saying, we don't make medical claims or anything, but do your research for God's sakes. This is the thing. Yeah. We each have our own brain, and I'm always, amazed that we have group think that is so so willing to just not think, so willing to just follow along. And I really think what's good for you may not be good for me, and vice versa.
Oh, most definitely. Everybody's body is completely different, and our metabolisms, everything. Yeah. So there's no cookie cutter anything, nor should there be.
No, that's right.
I pride myself in being unique.
Yes, exactly. And so when you discovered, this healthy chocolate that you're talking about, you're going to need to pronounce this. I can't. I know I will if I hear it a bit, but this is right?
That is the hardest part of this whole journey, is learning how to say the product, and it's Xocai.
Xocai.
Just like Jerry Maguire, show me the money and sigh when you get the check is how we remember it.
Xocai.
Sigh.
Oh, I like it. All right, I'm going to put that.
The XO for chocolatl, and the CAI for the acai berry, which is in all of our products. So
I also heard that there's a connection to Canada in the this company as well. And I, because this is a Canadian show, although heard all over the world, I kind of like to let people know about some of the products, especially when there is a Canadian connection, so Canadians can know and other people can know. Because where we get our product, that are what do you call it, raw product that goes into products that we consume is important too. You know, I mean, I don't want to buy something that's, sitting in the radiation in Japan right now. So I want to know where do some of these come from. And I understood there was a bit of a Canadian connection, and I think it's the blueberry thing.
There is. It is the Canadian blueberries, and they do come from Eastern Canada.
Oh, you have no idea what that does for my heart, Shannon. I love Eastern Canadian blueberries. There is nothing like them. Nothing.
Yes, they are picked and they are instantly flash frozen so that they're at the peak of perfection. And the Canadian blueberry, the acai berry, and the raw cacao is in all of our products. It's in our energy drink as well. It's in everything. It's called the Shovita blend, and it's proprietary. And it is in everything we make. It's even in our skincare and our shampoo and conditioner.
Wow. Well, that's interesting.
Because it's an antioxidant.
So if you're hungry, can you eat your shampoo?
You could. It wouldn't hurt you.
I'm just kidding. You know, we're always multitasking, so eating breakfast in the shower, I don't know. But I wouldn't do that myself, and I'm not recommending anyone does. I'm just saying that fact that when
as well as the owners have Canadian roots as well, and our young Mr. Andrew Brooks was raised in Bragg Creek and has dual citizenship. So in my mind, our company is just as much Canadian as it is American. And they're actually all going to be here in March. So I'm looking very forward to being able to break bread with Jeanette Brooks and Andrew Brooks and his lovely wife, and Andrew's wife is from Cardston.
I'm going to put the poster up on the video to let people know about this event because, unless I'm mistaken, this is open to the public, right?
It is. They do need to have a ticket in order to go in, but it is open to the public, and they can call and reserve a ticket and put their name on the list. I'm actually going to be coordinating people at the door, so I will be able to greet them at the door.
Nice.
And make sure that they have a seat. So yes.
And they'll be able to meet you too at this. So what's So can you tell us a little bit? What's the event for? What's the
The event that's coming in March is a launch of a brand new product. It is groundbreaking, first in the world. It is called the Show Love Bite. And the Love Bite is a 12-gram piece of hard chocolate that tastes very much like a truffle. And it has maca and L-arginine. Oh. And L-arginine is for stamina and energy. And it's very important to sexual health. And the number one selling drug in the world is Viagra. The number two is Lipitor. And between the maca and the L-arginine, we've just competed with the two biggest drug companies in the world with an all-natural product that tastes amazing. I've been able to taste the product, and Yes, I mean, it's the
So it's
sexual health is the elephant in the room
Yeah, the
that
thing
nobody
nobody wants
wants
to
to
talk
talk
about.
about. But it's there, and it's not just about being in the bedroom. It's about feeling sexy all day long. It's about feeling alive and having your hormones balanced and just feeling
Well,
like
it's
life
as
is worth living again,
it's
and this will do that. It's an amazing product.
what's our
The
creativity, isn't it?
energy, it's good for the heart. It's just an amazing product.
Well,
So
we
yes.
call it, the sexual energy, and it is, but it's really the creativity of life. That everything that, whether you're sexually active or not, is not really the whole thing. Although it seems like it's a
Yes.
natural thing when you feel good and you're really taking a bite out of life, and you want to dance and you want to sing and you want to create, you want to build, write, and whatever it is you're doing. So I think it's really important, and that's an interesting thing. But there is now this is not just about claims. Is there going to be some science discussed? It's science behind this, right?
We are 100% backed by science. Dr. Gordon Pedersen will be one of the 4 keynote speakers at this event. Dr. Gordon Pedersen he is a doctor, he's a PhD, he's an MD, he's a naturopath. He has his degree in toxicology. He has a degree in cardiac rehabilitation. So this man knows what he's doing. And if you walk into a GNC store, I can guarantee you that 75% of the products on the shelf he has created.
Oh, really?
So we are just so blessed to have him partnered with us as an advisor, as a mentor, to help us develop these amazing products. This product is 8 years in the making. It just didn't happen yesterday.
That's
We have
interesting.
known that this is coming for a very long time. Maca is a very bitter herb. It's very difficult to work with, and to be able to combine the L-arginine, which has kind of a real ting to it, is probably the best way to describe it on the tongue. To be able to combine those with the healthy chocolate, with the acai and the Canadian blueberry, and put it all together in something that you'll want to eat 2 times a day. Jeanette Brooks is amazing. She created Mrs. Fields cookie dough on the go, and the cake mix that you just add water. She is just a tremendous
Is she
product
the
developer.
founder of this company then?
She is.
So you've met all these
yes.
people?
I've met all of them and had dinner with them on more than one occasion, and the company is their family. It's family owned. It's debt free. Just amazing.
Tell me about, because like the Canadian blueberry aspect is really is important to me, because it's part of the Canadian economy, and a lot of people think blueberry, but there is a difference, or a Saskatoon berry is the same as a blueberry. No, they aren't the same. And Saskatoons are great too, and I'm blackberries, whatever. They all have their place, but the blueberries in Eastern Canada have a very, they're really plump, they're big, they're just different than cultivated farmed. They're, especially the wild ones in Eastern Canada. But there's another part of it is the chocolate itself, and I'd like to hear a little bit about, because although I'm not an expert in this, but I know that Canadians and people all around the world have started, like you, to go through a journey. Like I said, a lot of people end up getting sick, or they take, they just, they meet their job loss or whatever. They start to reevaluate life. It's happening to a lot of us. And one of the things that we're really starting to notice is our food, what we're putting into our bodies. there's a whole movement of people saying no to GMOs. We do not want our food tampered with by science. We have, or many of us, have an understanding of a God, creator, spirit, call it what you will, but a divine intelligence that created life, created us, created this planet, created everything. And we don't want to put food in our mouth that's been made in a laboratory by putting one gene from one species into another. We don't want that. So there's one thing. We don't want additives that are actually poisoning us or poisoning our children. We don't want fluoride in our water. We don't want a lot of things that we're not just because we're anti-corporate. We want them because we want to thrive. We're sick of being sick and tired, right? So we're looking,
yes, very much so.
Yeah, so we're looking for companies. I think this is why I want to have more and more people on the show to talk about companies that are ethical, that are paying attention to the environment, and so we can bring this information to people so we have choices. Because I think that's the biggest part of the frustration of waking up to, oh my God, what's happening to the world? Then it becomes, where am I going to get my whatever? And so being able to share with people about companies and where they can access things and what it's all about is really important to me. And I think it's important to the people watching this show. And so what is the background on the company and where they get the chocolate? I'd like to, because I know there is a bit of a, no pun intended, or maybe.
Well, yes, pun intended, yes. There is a dark side to chocolate. There really is. And our company has gone out of its way to make sure that they're working with the farmers. Our chocolate comes, our raw cacao is a theobroma chocolate, and it comes from the Ivory Coast. And our company has planted over 1 million trees to replace the trees that have been taken down. And they are working on making sure that they're using absolutely every part of the pod and the cocoa bean and husk in various forms. You will not find husk in the chocolate because that's where caffeine is, and our chocolate is 100% caffeine free. So we can feed it to our children and relax and know that everything is great. I'm exceptionally caffeine sensitive, and I eat my chocolate after I brush my teeth, just before going to bed. And I sleep like a baby.
Wow.
So back to the ethically sourced. We have a show service program where we can go and help the farmers plant and help educate the children and work with the villages. There isn't child labor involved, and that is very, very closely monitored. So the raw cacao goes from the Ivory Coast to Belgium. We're partnered with a Belgian chocolatier who has developed our patented cold press process, which that's the difference between regular olive oil and cold pressed olive oil. Like it's if you Dutch chocolate or you heat the raw cacao, you kill all of the antioxidants, and we are a high antioxidant wellness system. That's what makes this so powerful, is that it's not a Cadbury fruit nut bar. This is something that will actually reverse damage. It will help repair DNA, and we are backed by science, and we can say that.
Wow.
We have proof. We have
powerful.
Living proof of our products in cells and what it actually does. Our meal replacement shake, 20 minutes after ingesting, can reduce inflammation in the body by 34%. So it's not just something that a person would consume if they want to lose weight. It's something athletes consume after a workout We have marathon runners that can, they think that last mile of their 26 and a half miles, they're thinking about their meal replacement shake. And I kid you not, it's been to Mount Rainier twice, to the top of Mount Rainier with some of our athletes. So this is backed by solid science. The Love Bites that we're introducing in March has an ORAC score of 106,000 for 2 pieces. And this is tested on a full product, not because there's blueberries in it, we'll give it 600, and because there's acai berries in it, we'll give it 1,000, and because there's chocolate in it, we'll give it another one. We'll combine it together and divide it. It's on a finished piece.
What is
we are tested by Brunswick Labs 4 times a year.
I've never heard of that.
So we are what we say we are. What the ORAC score basically is a definition of when this product is consumed, how many molecules of free radicals it can eat up, like a Pac-Man.
Oh, wow.
So we need to be eating high ORAC score foods. Blueberries is number 6, acai berry is number 2, and raw cacao is number 1.
Wow. Oh,
so we have a 1, 2, 3 punch.
Right. There's a big movement right now on about palm oil, and where palm oil is coming from. There's a lot of the elephants are being killed because they are eating the palm trees, and that the people that need the palm oil, of course, big corporations are destroying the environment because they're just taking what they want. Is that something that is factored into this company?
No, actually, the only fat that is in our chocolate, and there's very minimal fat, is the actual cocoa butter, which is a stearic fat, which our brain and our heart needs both of, and our body knows what to do with. So no, palm oil is not something that is even in our products.
Well, I didn't know, but I just thought I'd ask because it does seem to be on a lot of people's minds, and we often see it in other chocolate products, And I don't want to be putting, here's my thing. I don't want to, it's not about competition anymore. I think we are past that. We are about choice, and it's not about putting down products that have been with us for years. Let's just be realistic. I don't have to put it down. I just know better and choose better. I don't have to say that one's bad. I just say, well, actually, this is my preference. I am choosing this. So, and that's what I love. I love that kind of message that comes across. Give me all the information and I'll choose. I'm an adult.
Well, in our nugget, there's only 3 ingredients. There's chocolate, there's the Chovita blend, and raw cane crystal. Doesn't get much cleaner and simpler than that.
Okay. And then I'm like very excited already, and I'm trying to contain myself because I haven't tasted them yet, so I don't know from my own point of view. But so far, I mean, I like what you're saying. And the other part is I think you mentioned this to me either in an email or when we were chatting about the company works with the farmers that are producing the chocolate, and so that's important because then you're on the ground, you know what's really happening there, and you have some accountability and responsibility, which is nice.
Yes, very, very much so. It is a company that everybody has everybody else's back. Where everybody is looking out for each other, and we truly do have a family spirit. I've been involved in smaller companies. This is my first time at being involved in a really, really large organization, and it has been the most amazing experience that I've had. And
that's good to hear.
be able to pick up the phone and call the creator of our products and say, I have a question, and it'll be answered, and just to know that things will be answered timely, and I know if I'm told that, you know, this XYZ product has ABC, I will always do my due diligence because that's who I am. But, you know, I'm always, their motto is to undersell and over-deliver. And so far, that has decidedly been my experience with all of our products and the owners as well. It's just it's just been a very, very pleasant experience.
That's good. That's really good to hear, because in a lot of these, well, I'm hearing a lot about, especially women who are starting to say, you know what, it's time for me to have my own business, to make my own money. And some people are entrepreneurs in the sense of going out and creating something with their gifts and talents. And some people are catching on to companies that are selling things that they really think, I love it, I'm going to sell it. But what I've found is that sometimes loving something, buying it is great, but when you go to sell, or being that representative, sometimes people don't know what they're talking about. They misrepresent, or they don't have all the information, or it's just really not. They're just not. They don't represent the product. Like I looked at. I won't mention any names, but I was looking at a marketing company that does cosmetics. And I was watching some different, I wanted to see what the reviews were and what the thing, and my goodness, the tutorials that I saw were just absolutely horrific. Like, I'd never seen anything so awful. And I just thought, well, you know, anybody can start their own business and anybody can be a representative, but as these companies are growing, I know it's difficult because you're trying to reach many, many people, but is there training? Do you require your representatives to have some kind of training, or what is the?
Oh, yes, most definitely. We have we're partnered with a group of people who have come together, who have over 200 years of experience, and we train every Monday. I've had 2 training calls actually this morning, and there'll be 4 later on this evening. And Monday we're in training. I'm partnered with 3 other ladies who are mentoring me locally, and so that literally anywhere in the world, that, well, 42 countries at this point, even in Japan, we are trademarked healthy chocolate, and the same meeting that will occur in Japan with the Japanese flair as what will happen here in Canada, so that the company is being represented. They are doing a very slow, controlled growth.
Nice.
And we want to be a household word. We want to be, when people look at the Xocai, they have good thoughts and good feelings, because it is a feel-good product. We do have the bliss factor in our chocolate, and it's there naturally, and we want people to, when they think of Xocai chocolate, they feel that as well.
Yeah.
That their experience has been a very positive one.
Yeah. I wanted to make sure that people, you know, are, some of the questions I'm asking, I maybe even know the answers to, but I wanted to ask them just the same, because I feel like this is fairly new to a lot of people. I had not heard of it before, and I'm really into chocolate, so I was pretty excited. But I wanted to there's more to it. There's more to everything that we're consuming. And I think a lot of us are curious and want to know. And I want to know. I want to know if I'm going to buy this product or, give it to my kids or my grandchildren. I want to know what's in this. So I want to, you've talked about the Love Bites is something that's coming out now. And obviously that would be, or I would think it would be for adults, probably. I don't know if there's an age on it, but taking something with arginine in it seems like an adult thing. But what about the other products? Are all of the other products, like the healthy shakes and the peanut butter cups and the nuggets and things like that, are they for everyone, or is there different ages on these?
No, the all of our chocolates, and I haven't heard the data for the show Love Bites. I am presuming that they are more of an adult chocolate, but everything else is definitely, it's diabetic friendly, gluten free, halal, vegan, vegetarian, mostly lactose free, which is very difficult to find in a chocolate. So we have taken as many things into consideration as humanly possible.
And what about the GMO factor?
Pardon?
What about the
no GMO. Okay. No GMO. Absolutely. No GMO. None whatsoever. Yes. No. We the only there is dairy in the peanut butter cup. The peanut butter cup is 3 grams of protein and 2 grams of fiber in every peanut butter cup, and they're about half the calories of the other peanut butter cup that's out there. But those are empty calories. Where when you have 3 grams of protein in a peanut butter cup, I very contentedly feed them to my grandchildren with a glass of milk before they go to bed at night, and they sleep like logs because their tummies are happy and they've had a treat, and I don't feel like I've filled them full of something
Granny
that
sugar.
really isn't good for them. Yes, yeah. I don't have to worry about a sugar high. Our sugar that we do use is a raw cane crystal, so it has a very low glycemic index. The only product that we have that has a little bit of what I would call and it is a natural sweetener, which is xylitol. There is some xylitol in the meal replacement shake, but that's the only product that has something different in it. And the meal replacement shake was designed in the beginning to be a weight loss program, which it is a very successful weight loss program.
Okay. And
who knew you could eat chocolate and lose weight? I mean,
how does it
you
get
now
better
can
than that?
have your cake and eat it too.
You really thrive. It sounds like you're really enjoying this process. And I'm hoping to get to Edmonton in March and hopefully to interview some of the key players in the company and get some information on the science and that kind of stuff, because I know that my audience is like me, is so curious about what's possible now. Like, we're just not accepting the old that's the way it's always been. We're saying no, there's something better, and this feels like it to me, so I'm really curious to know more. So I'm looking forward to that. But other than that, what's your sense of this as far as your journey? And to bring us back to the beginning with Shannon Koller, who's now really involved in this chocolate.
I have always believed that everybody needs a plan B. And in today's economy, you just never know when the rug is going to be pulled out from underneath of you. And that happened to my husband and I. And I believe that was the second catalyst that catapulted me forward into really sitting down and taking a serious look at the healthy chocolate. Because for various reasons, my husband's job was pulled out from underneath him. And had I not already started down the path of thinking of the healthy chocolate as a social outlet for me, and a health food for myself, etc., etc., I'm not sure the mental state I would have been in. You know, he had 5 years to retirement, and at 62, it's not easy to go out and get a job.
No.
So.
Well, you're looking fantastic for 62. Holy crow.
Thank you.
There's no doubt about that.
Thank you.
This is the thing, is that
that's the skincare with the chocolate in it.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about that. But so there's stuff to eat, and there's stuff for your hair and your skin and weight loss and whatever. And I want to let people know that on Let's Get Real Chattin with Catherine.com or lgrcc.com, you can go to Shannon's profile and read about her, read about the chocolate, and then there's a link to products and a link to the website as well, so that you can get more information about, how to buy it, how to get involved. If this resonates with you, you feel like, man, I so want to be involved in something like that, or this is what I've been looking for. All that information is there. And then also I will make sure that I have that poster up for people to understand that, this event in Edmonton. And is there anything, Shannon, that you feel you really wanted to share today that I haven't asked you about?
I'd like to talk a little bit about antioxidants and why we need them.
Okay.
Our body rusts from the inside out, like a car, like your car does. And that we're bombarded by free radicals, smoke, pollution, parabens and dyes that we put on our skin, the things they coat our fruit with so that it'll last in transportation. Just constantly, you put a new carpet in your house and you're going to be bombarded with free radicals from the fumes inside the carpets. And the antioxidants that are in the healthy chocolate combined with the acai berry and the Canadian blueberry help. They literally, and I have video of this, literally 20 minutes after ingesting the healthy chocolate, it goes in there and it starts mopping up your arteries. And literally you can see, like this little Pac-Man, the antioxidants in the chocolate eating up those free radicals and eliminating them from the body. And we're not ingesting, we're in such a fast food generation, we are not ingesting enough antioxidants. There's just physically our food, and unless you're growing it yourself, it is so depleted of nutrients. By the time we receive it, we're just getting fiber. That's basically all we're getting.
Yeah, even if you're growing it yourself,
to be able to pop a couple of pieces of chocolate in your mouth every day and know that what you're doing, it's so much more fun than taking pills. After my years worth of chemo, etc., I do not want to be taking a pill if I don't have to.
Yeah.
And so for me, I don't forget to eat my chocolate, but I do forget those probiotics that are in the back of my fridge that are now stale. And, we have chocolate that has probiotics in it. We have chocolate that has flaxseed and we have, we just have a variety of everything, and it's just so much more fun.
It's an interesting point too that you make. I love that. I mean, especially if you love chocolate. But and I don't know too many people that don't. I know one woman that claims she doesn't like chocolate, except I always see her with chocolate, so I'm not sure what that's about. But so I don't know.
There are a few.
Yeah, but you made a good point if you're growing it yourself. But we, a lot of us, will grow our own food, but the soil itself, is depleted, and we have to be so conscious now, and it's not just the soil, and it's the air and the water that we're feeding it. Like if you're in a community that adds fluoride to the water and you're watering your garden with it,
it's in it. So these are all things that we sometimes we don't think about. We just it's nice to have the conversation. It's nice to explore for ourselves, and if you're like me, do the research. I mean, if you're curious about it, don't take my word for it. Don't even take Shannon's. As far as I'm concerned, I love chatting with her. I feel good about this conversation, but I still don't ever say to anybody, trust that person. Yeah, trust the science. Do your own research. Let it feel it. Does it feel right? And then, try it if that's where it is. So how easy is it for somebody in Canada, let's say they're not in Edmonton, to even to buy it? Let's say they don't want to, say they're not going to be the salespeople. They don't want that kind of, can you just buy the product if you want it?
We do have, you can purchase online. You can purchase online through my webpage. The only thing, and it'll be shipped to their door. We do have what's referred to as a preferred customer program. If they don't particularly want to have something shipped to their door every month, then it's, I believe, 20% off of the retail price. They receive their own customer ID number, which case they can go on the computer and they can order at any time they wish and get it 20% off of retail. But if they want to have chocolate in their life on a regular basis, we do suggest a person go on the customer loyalty program, and then every 28 days, a box of chocolates, which is a month's worth, will arrive on their doorstep, a chocolate of their choice. And for the first year, every third month, they get to pick a free box of chocolates and just pay for the shipping. So that's about $500 worth of free chocolate coming your way during the first year. So it's pretty easy to have it in your life. It's, it's not the fruit and nut bar. The average piece of chocolate, you're going to be looking at anywhere from $1.25 to $1.50 a piece. But it is pharmaceutical chocolate, as we call it. It is a health food. It's not candy. It just happens to taste like candy. My particular saying is that we have taken ancient Aztec medicine brought into the 21st century that tastes amazing.
That's fantastic. Wow, I really appreciate you taking the time to share all this information with us and your own journey, and I'm really grateful to be able to know you and to know that, like me and like a lot of my audience, you've been living and you've had this journey and you had a bump in your road and you came out the other side and you're looking pretty darn good, and I think that's pretty fantastic. And you're the messenger. In this case, I really like the messenger.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Thank you, Shannon. Yes?
This needs a voice. This little piece of chocolate needs a voice. And I'm the voice of healthy chocolate.
I love that. And also, there's a link on the sidebar of the website, and it just says Xocai chocolate, Shannon Koller, and so you can click on there and go directly to her website and get more information. So thank you so much, Shannon, for joining me on Let's Get Real Chattin with Catherine. You're very real, and chocolate is very real to me, so I really appreciate this.
Check your mailbox.
I'll be watching for it. Thank you very much, and thank you to all who are watching, and please share the videos and let your friends know about the show, about this particular show, and about the chocolate. And I'd love to hear your feedback, and I'm sure Shannon would too. So until next time, take care.
Yes. Thank you.
You're very, very welcome.
Isn't that amazing? Thank you to my guests for sharing with us today. Thank you for watching. Feel free to share the link. You can join us for live shows by going to letsgetrealchattinwithcatherine.com and listen to the replays from the show page, preview guests, and explore links to our Facebook fan page, WordPress blog, and more. We are creating an exquisite world. Until next time, take care.